Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. How are you doing? I can't believe it's already October. And before we know it, it's gonna be Halloween and then Thanksgiving and then Christmas and then it's the new year. Time is just like flying by. That's crazy, whether you're ready or not, right? But for those of you who are new to my channel, hello, thank you so much for clicking my video. My name is Somia George and I'm a lawyer and I post videos on the law, on law school, just giving you tips and tricks along the way, things I think that would be helpful if you're thinking about law school, if you're in law school. So this is where you'll find all the good stuff. And I also post videos on my life, like exciting things on my life, and also what else do? I do prank videos, which, speaking of, I actually posted my first prank video last week, so go check it out. I'll post the link in the description, and a link should pop up right here, somewhere here in the screen. But go check it out. So as you guys can tell by the title of this video, it's going to be all about 5 effective tips on how to study in law school. So these are my personal tips that I used to study in law school, and they were very effective. I was able to finish law school within the time limit of 3 years, passed all my classes, so guaranteed this is effective. So if you're thinking about going to law school, or if you're currently in law school, or you're about to start law school, this video should be super helpful for you. And mind be, these are tips that worked for me personally, and so use your best judgment as to whether you want to follow these tips, but I hope they are helpful to you. Tip number 1 is probably the biggest tip I'm going to give you, and it's none other than make outlines from day 1. So I'm not sure about if you're in law school right now, but every law school is different. But for my law school, I went to Massachusetts School of Law, and we actually started reading cases right in orientation week, like right on day 1 of orientation week. So from day 1, from orientation week, I strongly suggest to start outlining. And when I mean outline each case that you read. So write out the case name, write out, who the judge is, write out what the issue is, what the ruling is, the arguments that were made, why the judge made the decision that was made, was the case appealed. Just make an outline of each case that you read. And also along with that, make an outline of the law, of the teachings that your professors will teach you. So basically for each class, for example, for like criminal law, I would have 2 outlines for every single class. One outline for all my cases that I read, and another outline for just class notes and rules and provisions and the law that we would go over. So everybody outlines differently. So the way I outline might not be an effective way for you to outline. Everybody has their own, particulars and, what they think is important, what matters to them, what doesn't. So, you can just Google templates on, sample outlines. And then from those, you can start learning what your personal preferences are and start making your outline. So that is tip number 1, and it's so huge, because if you start creating like a track record of every case you've read, all the details, start taking notes from day 1 of everything you're learning in class, it will help you immensely as the semester progresses, and as quizzes come, as exams come, as finals come, as a bar exam comes even. It will be super helpful. So tip number 2 is none other than, you could probably guess it, it's none other than to review your outlines and review your notes on a daily basis. This might seem tiring, and you might think, well, how would I have time to review my notes after a full day of class? Maybe, you're planning on working, or you are working, during law school like I did. But trust me, find time, because it will help you so much in the end, especially when it comes time for exams. So what I would do literally is, apart from making my outlines, taking my notes during class, I would go home that same night and I would just read through all the notes that I wrote down. And then I would, highlight certain things, try to start memorizing vocabs, try to start memorizing like the law, and reviewing your notes on a daily basis really, really helps. There's actually statistics out there on how it's an effective way to study. And that is one thing that I found, that helped me immensely to study, to study the law. So tip number 3 is also very, very important. I wish somebody had told me this earlier, but I found this to work so much, and it's none other than condensing your outlines in time for midterms and condensing it even more in time for finals at the end of the semester. Here's what I mean when I say condensing your notes. So when, if you're taking outlines and taking notes for each class, by the time you get to like the middle of the semester, you're going to have so many pages of notes in your outline, and it can be so overwhelming. Trust me, you're not going to have that much time to just sit through and go read through all your notes from the very beginning in time for your midterm or your final exam. So that's why weeks approaching to your midterm exam, and if you don't have a midterm exam, weeks approaching to your final exam, it's so important to just start going through your notes. Take out things you already know, you already have down in your head, vocab that you already have memorized or concepts that you have mastered. Take it out of your outline so you can start condensing it, and then maybe start making acronyms or start grouping concepts together, make like flowcharts, whatever you need to do to just condense your outline so it's just so much easier to go through in time for midterms and final exams. Please do yourself a favor, make your life so much easier and condense your outlines. And while you are condensing it too, you are testing yourself. You are going through the material you learned and you're reviewing material. Repetition is key, you guys. So it in the end, it helps. The whole process of condensing your outlines will help you as well. Tip number 4 is none other than clear your questions when they are formed. Don't wait, because that will just confuse you even more. So what do I mean by clear questions as soon as they form? So what that means is that you're going to have classes that you just have no interest in. I definitely have mine, aka constitutional law. So what I mean by get your questions cleared when they're formed and not to wait is that when you come across like a concept that you don't really understand, instead of just waiting and thinking, oh, maybe the professor will talk about it the next class, and you just let it slide, that's gonna be a huge disfavor that you do to yourself, because who knows, maybe the professor will not touch upon it. They'll probably move on to a new lesson, and you're just gonna forget about your question, and then come exams, or like come the new concept, if you haven't already mastered the first concept, the new concept might be even more confusing to you. So it's so important to try to find answers, seek help as soon as you have questions. So different ways that you can seek answers, find answers to your questions, is go and talk to your professors during their office hours. So I didn't go to like any big law school or anything. It was a pretty small class size, which I liked so much, because when it's more intimate, the professors actually know who you are. You're not just like one in 1,000 students whom like the professors don't even know. This allows you to have like a better connection with the professor, and also they're more available, I would say, and they are more responsive to your emails, to your requests to visit them in their office hours. So that's what I did. Every time I had a question, one of the resources I would use is to actually go to the professor to like themselves and just hear them reteach that concept, and it will help you immensely. And if you don't want to go to the professor, or if it's like really difficult to reach your professor outside of class, turn to your study group. Turn to your study group, or there are so many videos online. Turn to like Google, seriously, turn to Google, turn to YouTube. Ask me. I'm happy to help you if you have any questions. Okay, you guys, so we're at the final tip. Tip number 5 is none other than take breaks. Please, please, please take breaks. This is as equally important as all my other tips, because I feel like not too many people talk about, how you need a break. You need to take time for yourself, because it's just so underrated, I feel like, which is not good, which is not okay. So this is your reminder. I'm reminding you that it's okay to take time for yourself. It's okay to take breaks. In fact, it's healthy. So take breaks, as many breaks as you need. So I remember one thing I did when I was in law school, is I would, especially like when it came time to exam season, I would maybe study for like 2 hours straight and then take like a half an hour break and like eat a snack. And one thing I also would do was keep my phone away. So I would just keep my phone away, charging somewhere else, because I just didn't want that to be a distraction. Because for me, I don't know about you, but for me, whenever my phone lights up, like I have to see, what it is, what's going on. It's so, so bad. So that's exactly why I chose to keep my phone away from me when it came to studying. So those are my 5 effective tips on how to study in law school. You guys, I am a recent graduate of law school. These are the tips that I personally implemented in my study habits, and they were effective. They really were. It allowed me to successfully pass each class and graduate on time, pass the bar exam. But the bar exam is like a whole different animal. I will post a separate video on that closer to when the next bar exam is coming up, which is in February. Oh my gosh. But yeah, you guys, these are tips that I personally implemented in my daily studying, and it worked. So I wanted to hop on here and share these tips with you, because I was once in your shoes. I would YouTube and watch literally as many YouTube videos as I could about law school and how to be ready, what to look out for, because I just wanted to be as prepared as I could. So I just want to say I'm so proud of you if you're doing the same thing, because you're so motivated, you're so determined, and I want to remind you that you are fully capable of growing through this law school experience. I've said in my previous videos before that it's not for everyone. Okay, you guys, I hope this video was super helpful. As always, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, comment down below what other videos you'd like me to create related to the law, and I hope you have a beautiful rest of your week. Share this video with your family, with your friends who are thinking about law school, who are in law school. But don't forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button for more awesome videos like this. Okay, as always, stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy, be grateful, and I will see you guys next Wednesday.